Alright you guys, ZFR back here, and this is a video that is probably going to get me a lot of hate. I can already see it now, but you know what, whatever. I'm going to give my opinion on this because this is something I talked about this a lot in the beginning, but this is going to be a video on Destiny 2 because, man, Destiny 2 at the moment, it's pretty much on its way out. At least that's what it feels like. You see a lot of the big Destiny YouTubers finally starting to walk away from the game. You see them making all these sad little videos, pretty much saying how they're sad that the game is in the state it's in. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel sorry for them. I know that sounds kind of harsh. I know it's going to sound like I'm being somewhat of a dick in this video, but honestly, they were lying to themselves if they didn't see this moment coming. If they honestly didn't see this coming, they were absolutely lying to themselves. So, what's going on with Destiny 2? There's so much. I'm not really even going to get into all of that. I mean, and to be honest, I probably don't even know everything that's going horribly wrong with the game. Microtransactions are still a thing. I'm pretty sure it probably has something to do with that. Am I right? But other than that, you know, it's just the same old, same old. It's the content. It's the amount of content. It's the type of content that's coming out. You know, a lot of people are saying that the first DLC was terrible, or not the first DLC. Was that the first DLC? The whole Osiris DLC or whatever. People are saying that was pretty bad. The main game, you know, the story and stuff was decent, but it was kind of lackluster in certain departments. Like, I mean, it was good at the beginning and the end, but the whole middle of it seemed like it left some to be desired. Like, so with that being said, the game had a bunch of problems from day one. Don't even get me started on the PvP. That, from what I understand, has been trashed since the beta, which I did play. It was trashed in the beta, and it's been trashed ever since. So, yeah, like, pretty much this game has just been trashed since day one. And what have you had? You've had a bunch of people trying to defend it. Let me tell you something. Destiny 2 deserved to die. It is a good thing that this game died. It is a blessing that this game died. And once again, no, I probably sound like an asshole, but let me kind of explain my logic on this. Destiny 2 is a game that we got after. Think about Destiny 1 for a second. Look at the mess Destiny 1 became. And don't get me wrong, Destiny 1 was a fun game and everything. It was good. But anyone that sits here and tries to act like that game was great or above average, or that it was even somewhat respectable as a game, you are the problem. And I'll get to that in a second. But Destiny 1 is a game where the idea was great, the opportunity for what they could have done there, the potential was outstanding, and Destiny 1 was a game that I gave a fair chance. For anybody that thinks I'm just someone who's barely touched Destiny talking, Destiny 1 is a game I gave an extremely fair chance. I played through the main game multiple times. I maxed out like 5 characters if I remember correctly, and on top of that I went for a lot of different exotics and everything. You know, I played hours upon hours of the PvP. I did all the strikes and stuff. I played the first year DLC all the way up through the Taken King. I played all that. I didn't get Rise of Iron because that's when I realized that how much Bungie was out here disrespecting us, Bungie and Activision. That's pretty much when I stopped playing right there, because, you know, they came out with the whole thing where or you can buy the new DLC, but if you've just spent the last year buying the DLCs and the games past, then you kind of paid a whole lot extra money for the game when you really didn't have to. You just had to wait a year and you would get everything else pretty much for free. So with that being said, it was some BS. Like, they cheated us. Not once, but twice. They did the same thing with the Taken King. They cheated their fans openly. They disrespected us, and they basically acted like it was normal. And I realized with the recent news that came out about what was going on at Bungie during the time, I realized that they needed ways to make money, and they were kind of strapping to get some extra cash or whatever because they needed it, and that's fine. But you know what? I feel like your audience, your fans would have respected you more at the time if you had just came out and said that. We really would have. Like, these developers be acting like their fans won't support them when they're honest with them. But anyway, moving on back to Destiny 2. So then Destiny 2 comes along, and the game everyone's hyped for. I was kind of hyped for Destiny 2. It was starting to sound really good for me. I was like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe Bungie and Activision actually learned their lesson. Maybe they've actually done something right for once. But did they? No, because we got the beta, played the first mission in the beta. There was a lot of multiplayer and stuff in the beta. That was mostly what it was, plus the first mission. And there was the strikes and stuff. And, just after playing the beta, and then I can't remember, a few days later, a week or two later, however long it took for more extended gameplay to come out. After seeing some more gameplay, I very quickly realized that Destiny 2 was absolutely not going to be any better than Destiny 1. That they were going in the same direction, that they were going to end up in the same place. And what drove me crazy is that so many people didn't see that. So many people continue to hold out hope. And I made a video after playing the beta and also after seeing some more of the gameplay saying this, that I was thinking that this game was going to end up failing and flopping and disappointing us all like the last one, and that if anyone is smart out here, you would actually wait until you see more gameplay. You would wait a week until the game came out before you just jumped in there. But no, everyone wants to get in, everybody wants to give in to the hype and pick up the game day one or the first week or whatever, so they can be the first in line for the raid or whatever. Which there was only one raid people had complaints about. Some people loved it, and at the end of the day, there were a bunch of raid problems that followed. So with that being said, in my opinion, it's not the blame for what's happening to Destiny 2 right now is not only on Bungie and Activision. It is on the gamers. It's on the Destiny fans who continue to support the game. And I don't want to take shots at Destiny YouTubers because, I really enjoy a lot of their content. I think they all seem like really awesome people. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they were a part of the problem. They were. And I'm talking about all of them. And I don't think I really have to name any names. All you know who the big Destiny YouTubers are. All you know who the medium-sized and small ones are, I'm sure. So with that being said, like, in my opinion, they were the problem here. And the reason I say that is because these are the people who, with their fan bases, with their extended fan bases, continue to hype up this game, continue to put on a smile, and just hope things would get better when things were clearly bad. These are the people that allowed Bungie and Activision to disrespect them in the first game without any consequence. These are the people who continue to hand their money over, to pay who knows how much money out of their pocket actually supporting this trash. Like Destiny 2 was trash from the beginning. It was clear. Like, I mean, and nobody, you can't argue that. Like, the game sold all signs. The horrifying amount of trash that was going on with PvP in this game in the beginning, all the stuff people were saying, all the complaints there were about PvP. That should have been step one to show you that Bungie had not learned their lesson from the first game and that they just didn't know what their fan base wanted or needed. The whole weapon thing, like, people have been complaining about how they switched up some of the weapons into the heavy weapons slot, like the shotguns and snipers and stuff. That just goes to show you right there another bad, horrible gameplay decision that already caused problems since day one of this game's release. And then, of course, after, like I said earlier, after the game released, there were a multitude of different problems. A multitude. And what did all of these people do? What did all these YouTubers, what did all these Destiny fans do? They actually stuck around and bought the first DLC. I'm done. Like, you bought the DLC. What the heck? Like, why are you still supporting this game? This is nowhere near the first chance you've given them. At this point, like, the amount of times they've disappointed you, the amount of times they've sold you that they either A, are incompetent to what we want as gamers, or B, just don't give us it, and you still supported them. That's the case for the entire game of Destiny 2. That was the case towards the end of Destiny 1, when they start doing that BS with the DLC, where if you didn't buy it, you're locked out of everything else, pretty much. You're locked out of the multiplayer, you're locked out of the you're locked out of all the strikes all of a sudden, all the weekly strikes and everything. That right there is when I knew that I probably wasn't going to be on Destiny much longer after I saw that. I gave the Taken King a chance because it looked like they actually took a step in the right direction, which they did, but with Destiny 2, clearly they went backwards again in different areas, but still backwards. And, you know, people are going to try to deny what I'm saying in this video. People are going to call me a hater, and people are going to be pissed. They're going to leave a bunch of hate comments down below in the comment section and everything. But you know what? At the end of the day, I didn't waste my money on that trash Destiny 2. At the end of the day, if everyone boycotted the game like I did, which I never really announced that I was doing that, but you know, it's something I just decided to do personally for myself. Because in a way, a part of me did want to pick up Destiny 2, a part of me did want to give the game a second chance, and a part of me really does like Destiny, because like everyone else, I see the potential in Destiny, but I refuse to support it until they show us that they are actually going to use that potential. So with that being said, Destiny 2 is finally dying. All of its well, not all of the YouTubers, but a lot of the YouTubers for the game are retreating to other games. You see them playing stuff like Fortnite and everything. They finally given up, you know, and it's sad that it took them this long to learn their lesson, because the Destiny community has suffered even more by this point. I'm sure that when Destiny 3 comes out, a ton of people are just going to go straight back and buy it and do the same garbage again. And I'm pretty sure, this could just be a wild guess, but I'm going to go ahead, take a wild guess, and say that Bungie and Activision still won't get their shit together by then. And Destiny 3 is probably going to end up being a mess, just like Destiny 1. And you know, it's sad. And once again, I don't want to make this sound like a hate video, which in a way it kind of is. You know, I'm not going to deny it. It kind of is, but that's not the primary purpose of this video. The primary purpose of this video is me trying to tell all the people around me that like Destiny, that wanted Destiny to be a good game, just like me, that looked at that very first gameplay reveal of the first Destiny way back when, that saw the trailers and that got hyped for a type of game that we have never ever seen before. For the people who believed in that, for the people who hoped for that, I'm telling you right now, I'm asking you, in the future, we can have that, but only if you don't stand there and take this BS. The fact that you allow some of these developers, some of these publishers to get away with the amount of BS that they do, and you settle for a little bit of fun instead of the insane amount of fun that you could be having. You know, like, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, we can't have both. You know, we can't have a decent game now and a freaking fantastic game that's 10 times better down the road. If you don't show these developers, these publishers, that we're not about to put up with this BS, then this is what happens. It gets to this point. This is how the Destiny community got here. This is how it ended this way. And honestly, it's not a surprise. I saw this coming. I anticipated this, and you know, it's finally here. And I just don't understand how so many other people once again did not see this coming. Like way back when, not a couple months ago, not a week ago, not a day ago. I don't see how so many people did not see this outcome for Destiny. And you know, I don't believe how many people put up with this until the bitter end. But with that being said, I don't want to ramble on too long about this. That's all I really have to say about this. That's all the time I have to talk about this game. This is going to be the last video I make on Destiny. If they announce Destiny 3, you know, I'll talk about it. I'll see what it looks like, and I'll give my opinion on if they actually try to change something, if they actually try to give their fan base what we want. And don't get me wrong, I think it's possible. I do think it's possible for Destiny 3 to be a comeback or whatever, but at the same time, like, you know, the fact that no one ever really yells at Bungie, like the fact that we've waited this long to speak out against them, to really start taking a stand, the fact that they've gotten so much support for the garbage that they've been putting out up until this point, I mean, I really doubt that they're going to be all too worried about getting something extremely outstanding prepared for the next game. Why do that when you could just make a couple awesome trailers, throw a few awesome cinematics and scenes in here and there, and maybe, you know, talk about, you know, BS and lie a little bit, you know, tell some tall tales, make all these empty promises about a new type of game, about a new universe, about something fresh, about something different from last time, and get away with it. Why would you ever put the actual work in? With that being said, guys, that is definitely it for this video. I'm officially done talking about Destiny 2, Destiny 1, all of it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave likes and comments down below. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, if you agreed with me. Would love to hear people's opinions on this down below. and I will see you guys on the next one. ZFR out, guys.